All right, so today I'm going to talk about a condition called splenic vein thrombosis. And then I'm going to talk about that in relation to a classical formula called Jin Ling Zi San. And so, first, to give a little background on splenic vein thrombosis, it's not something that you necessarily hear about unless you go through it. It's fairly uncommon in somebody who's otherwise in good health, but it's what splenic vein thrombosis is when you have a blood clot in the vein that's connected to your spleen, right in that area, kind of around your stomach area, and um, it tends to happen more in people who have pancreatitis or some sort of problem with the pancreas. It may happen from a pancreatic cancer. It can also happen in lymphoma. But the most common cause is when you have pancreatitis, and then that causes a blood clot or a thrombosis in the vein that connects to the spleen. And so most of the time, people don't necessarily feel anything. It can actually cause vomiting of blood because once that happens, it can cause increased pressure in the veins that go into the neck. That's one possibility, but a lot of people may not notice anything, and usually you might find out about it because the doctor did a CAT scan or some sort of imaging on your belly, and then they saw it. Sometimes, if you are having specific symptoms, they may be concerned and look for it. The treatment for it in Western medicine is not definitively defined, although sometimes doctors will use blood thinners, although not necessarily always. And it also depends on kind of what are your other risk factors. So I wanted to talk about a formula in Chinese medicine that is actually a could be a good fit for this type of condition that we would see. And that formula is called Jin Ling Zi San. And it's a classical formula, and it's made out of two herbs. It's one of the herbs is Chuan Lian Zi, and then the other herb is Yan Hu Suo. And Chuan Lian Zi is actually a cool type herb, and it's an herb that focuses on the liver and gallbladder in Chinese medicine. And what it does is it actually helps to promote the movement of the liver qi and help promote the smooth functioning and flow of the qi in the body. And at the same time, it's a cool herb, so it helps to clear heat from the liver and it drains it out through the urine, which is actually one of the things that happens when you have a pancreatitis episode. And so it's useful if that pancreatitis episode is caused by that underlying problem and you're having the splenic vein thrombosis. Now, the other herb in that formula is an herb called Yan Hu Suo. Yan Hu Suo. And this is an herb that is used to help move the blood in the body. And it moves, first of all, the blood, but it also moves the chi in the body. And so in cases where you might be having a splenic vein thrombosis, which is where your blood's clotted and it's stagnated, and that's happening secondary to a pancreatitis problem. In Chinese medicine, if the signs and symptoms match, especially if you're seeing problems with the flow of the liver qi and secondary heat being generated and then secondary blood stasis being developed, then that would be a good indication to use both of these two herbs, Chuanlianzi plus Yanhu Suo, and that together making up this formula, Jin Ling Zi San. So those are a kind of an example of a situation where this formula could be used for. But of course, it always depends on how your exact presentation goes and whether it's the right fit for this formula. So splenic vein thrombosis and Jinling Zi San. Okay, we'll see you next time.